Hey everybody, Danielle Hargenrader here, co-writer of Love, Forgive, and Never Give Up, here today to bring you another one of our interviews in our 33 Days of Love Challenge series. Today, I'm really excited to bring you a great friend, Ed Swain, who is, well, I'm going to read you his bio, but first let me welcome him. Ed, how are you today? I'm so happy to have you here.
Oh, any better I couldn't take it. So great to be here with you, Danielle, and see
Oh,
your
thank you.
lovely, loving face. It's so great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So I met Ed a few years ago at a wonderful conference, and I just knew he lived in love. And when we were doing this series, he was one of the first people that shot to the top of my mind. So let's read his bio and get right into his story. So Ed Swain is the founder of Kitty Hawk Technologies, an enterprise devoted to helping companies and governments implement pioneering composite materials and nanotechnologies so they can dramatically improve the protection and well-being of their customers and citizens. His current passion is to significantly reduce concussions to athletes and injuries to soldiers by fortifying helmets and body gear with innovative energy dissipating capabilities. All these big words. Ed is a 30-year veteran of the aerospace and defense, automotive, nuclear, and composites industries. He's worked in the first flight of the F-15E fighter aircraft program while with McDonnell Douglas, now Boeing. He led record business growth with the creation of 35 certified aircraft programs while at AAR Corp. And he also founded the South Main Company back in 1997 to create and manufacture composite structures for the U.S. military. Ed is a certified high-performance coach, an electrical engineering graduate of the University of Notre Dame, and an MBA graduate of the University of Chicago. An avid runner, Ed has finished 9 marathons to celebrate his victory over cancer. He is also happily married for 25 years and has 2 children. Ed, I mean, come on. I mean, you're just, if anything else, you're just like, you're an awesome dude. So before I say anything else, just give us the goods on how obviously you have a lot of love in your life for many things. You're giving back love through your career and your wonderful wife, and you love your health and you beat cancer and military background. But give us the specifics because I want to know.
It's funny. It makes me blush with all that stuff. But the truth is that, there's an expression, you never walk alone. And I certainly wasn't alone for all that. That wasn't accolades about me. That is really a journey through a life that is shared with so many, whether it's family, friends, colleagues, strangers, but ultimately for the benefit of other people. Because isn't it great to rise up and do something, not necessarily for oneself, but for the benefit of others? And I think, love is all about that. And it's not necessarily a deal where you do X in the hopes of getting Y, but you do X because X is what is right for the world, what is right for the community, what is right in your heart. And so I would say, as I was going down memory lane, as you were reading that bio, I was thinking of all those different kinds of programs and reflecting back and all those life experiences. And the thing that just came to me was the fact that I certainly wasn't alone. I had a lot of help, and those people that helped me, some are with us today, some have, passed on, but what a blessing it's been to share a life, to share a journey, and to think of what all the steps and the journey will be from now. I can't wait. And right now, that journey of lives is intersected with your life, and I'm so happy to be here as we step together.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't you give us a little, we were kind of looking for like a little tidbit on, so what you're saying to me is getting to the next level in your life has consisted of surrounding yourself with people who support your mission. Is that a good kind of assessment of that statement?
Yes, and I think also what's behind a phrase like "you never walk alone." Every one of us, I'm sure we can relate to certain times in our life we have felt alone, but really calling that love to mind, we're knowing that you never walk alone, whether it's your faith, whether it's your family, whether it's a stranger that can enter your life. But that sense of opening up, when you say something like you never walk alone, especially if you're in a dark place or you're in a rough patch in your life and you may feel alone, but saying that, even though it might be counterintuitive, has a certain opening effect and allowing your love to come out and therefore allowing love to come in so you can get through that tough spot, and get through that rough patch and take it to the next level. And next thing you know, you say, wow, as much as I don't want to go through that rough patch again, I really learned something from it. I grew from it. And now look at the beauty of my life.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I wanted to ask you, since we've only known each other for a few years, has love always been a central part of your life, or was that something you had to grow into? Because I know a lot of people out there. I mean, for me, I had a tumultuous growing up. I was a lot of anger and pity for myself with the diabetes and a lot of health issues. And obviously, you've gone through cancer. So was there ever a point in your life where it was more difficult for you to call on love, or was that always a central part of your being?
Well, I'm very grateful that my parents, my mother and father, were always instilling love into our family, and so I'm very grateful that I respect and I honor those who had more difficult circumstances. But nonetheless, we go on in life and we meet our own challenges and we create our own families, and then we become responsible for bringing love into the world and passing the baton on, so to speak. And given the fact that love is the world's most abundant resource, tapping into that to share it with others, especially those who maybe don't have that support system back at home or in their work community or their friendship community, keep an eye out for the man or woman down, so to speak, and lend a helping hand. Lend a helping hand. That's each one of our individuals' opportunities to help in the growth of our human family.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what you said was really important is that love is the most abundant resource, but I think it's also one of the most valuable resources that people don't see as a valuable resource. And I think that's a really important takeaway and kind of tying back to what you said earlier about love isn't something like I'm going to do X of love to get Y result from love. It's just something that you do with no expectation at all, except that by exuding that energy, you're going to feel good, regardless of what the response from whether it's another person or whatever the case may be, that it's more for you, but the more you're able to live in that space, the more you find that the people around you kind of do the same thing. So
Well,
it's kind of a cumulative effect.
I know you live to this too, and that is, you find yourself when you're in the service of others. When you give of yourself, you will find things about yourself. You will have a wellspring of growth from within that it's something I wish everybody to experience. And whenever you think you're having a rough time, there's always someone who has a more difficult time, and you could lend them a helping hand. And just when you think you can't give anything, that's where all of a sudden you find the strength and you give, and next thing you know, you're taking it to you're leveling up to an area of your life you never thought would be possible. So never give up, never give in. Know that love is always around the corner because you never walk alone.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you had to say, kind of to boil down all of your thoughts on love to one kind of takeaway, what would that be on how to use love to bring your life to the next level, or maybe people who aren't able to live into love so easily as you and I are now, even though we've struggled in our past? Is there one takeaway you might give to the viewers?
I would, for me, and I would suggest this for others, and I'm going to use a word that has many meanings, and it's very, very much open for one's own personal definition of it, but it's faith. And, having that faith that you will find a way, that by putting yourself in a state where you could listen to the whispers of your heart, you'll find that if you amplify them, they will guide you to the next spot in your life. And faith is quite different and faith could mean, in a spiritual sense, it can mean in a holistic sense, it can mean, logically, it could mean in yourself, into your community, your family, whatever it is. Okay, allow that, that kind of co-creation, for those of you listening and watching. But for me, faith is a calling. It is a calling to serve because I believe I'm built for others. And here's the thing, faith is a different word than hope. We all need hope in our life so we could have the possibility of a brighter future. But what's endemic in the word faith, in my opinion, is action. In other words, if we put faith into action, if we take the step, if we amplify those whispers from our heart, that's where we actually create and bring the love into our world, as opposed to hoping it just arrives by 2 o'clock next Tuesday.
Yeah. No, that's brilliantly put. I couldn't have said it better myself. Actually, one of my biggest mentors in life, and somebody who I just love, and unfortunately will never get the chance to meet because he has left us, Napoleon Hill. I mean, one of the things he says is, you take faith and you put love to the back of that faith and action, like you're just an unstoppable force. And you kind of just reminded me a little bit of like he came into embodied it a little bit, and that was just great. And I agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Have faith. I mean, even if religion is not your thing, having faith in your ability to love can sometimes just be all you need. Is that sometimes, you know, my husband, who has done many of these interviews, when he's gone through his past experiences with being falsely committed to a mental institution and all of the things he had to go through with that, one of the things he had to deal with was thinking that he wasn't capable of giving or receiving love. And now he's just maybe the most loving person I've ever known in my entire life. So maybe just taking a baby step into having that faith that love is something that you can and should and deserve to have in your life is a good thing to think about. So yeah, so is there anything else you'd like to add before we kind of close things out here?
Well, you know, I think the other tandem partner to faith, this idea of taking action, involves one's self. And I've really been fortunate. There's a lot of, very important people in my life have said some words that I think oftentimes, it's great to hear it from others, but we can also say it to ourselves. And, there's been some critical moments where, very, very important people have said, Ed, I believe in you. And, oftentimes I think we need to say, to ourselves, I believe in me. I can, I'm built for this. There's a reason, a purpose. I'm here with you right now and in our world. And I've got some wonderful talents, and it'd be horrible if I just keep them, bottle them up. So I'm going to let them out. And so the idea of faith, but that belief in oneself, what that partnership can do, that helps be the catalyst for action. So you can bring it out into the world and make it real, to make it manifest for us all.
Yeah. Wonderful. I love it. I'm a huge fan of self-talk. In what I teach people all the time, I said, if no one's the most important person to tell you that you're worth it is you. That you can do it is you. That you have value, it's you. And then when you believe that fully, everybody else will too. And it really all starts from within. So, Ed, I really can't thank you enough for the wonderful conversation. You're just such a pleasure to talk to, and a beaming light of love. I mean, not to be silly, but you really are. I'm like smiling just sitting here chatting with you for 10 minutes. So thank you so much for your time. I'm really excited to have you involved. And for everybody else out there watching, if you would like to see more interviews or find out more about our book project that we are relating this back to, Love, Forgive, Never Give Up, go to loveforgivenevergiveup.com and check it out. And we will see you on the next interview. Take care.